Welcome everyone to the 191st Celebrity Synastry chart reading, where we will be looking into Jang Won-Young and Sunghoon. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Madeline and it is so nice to meet you. On this channel, I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart reading looking at the personal planet, signs, aspects, and birth times available house overlays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. So if that sounds good to you, subscribe and click the bell to join us twice a week, and let's get right into this one. So starting off the sun, we have Won-Young's sun in Virgo and Sunghoon's sun in Sagittarius. These are both mutable signs. They balance each other out and they work well together. From what I saw, so they're in the music industry, but apparently they hosted a music show together. So, very direct colleagues. Conflict easily occurs and Won-Young feels frustrated with Sunghoon. Sunghoon gets annoyed with Won-Young. Won-Young's sun sextiles Sunghoon's Venus. They really love each other and Sunghoon boosts Won-Young's ego. Won-Young feels adored by Sunghoon and they both have a desire for cooperation and harmony, which I think would come quite naturally when you're in the public, particularly like when you're a host. That is all about, literally being cooperative and harmonious, making everything go well. Or I guess as entertaining as possible is maybe the better word. Won-Young's sun sextile Sunghoon's Mars. They motivate each other and they give each other space. They have different hobbies and Won-Young admires Sunghoon's drive. They can further the other's goals and neither feels blocked. They both give the other confidence, which particularly seems to be for Won-Young. It seems like Sunghoon does a really good job at boosting her ego and confidence and everything. They participate in activities together and they are straightforward with each other. They tend to get annoyed with each other, which we did see in the beginning how Sunghoon gets annoyed. Sunghoon's sun is square Won-Young's moon. They have basic misunderstanding and they have practical disagreements. Won-Young sees Sunghoon as too rational and selfish, which is potentially why she may tend to be frustrated with him. Sunghoon sees Won-Young as too sensitive and Won-Young may feel resentful towards Sunghoon over time. There's general discontent. Sunghoon's sun is square Won-Young's Mars. Sparks fly and there's a competitive nature. There's a tendency to interrupt each other and individual egos create problems. So it's very interesting. Obviously comes to play, I assume, but it seems like Won-Young's ego is being boosted by Sunghoon, so I wonder if maybe we'll see a bit more like how exactly egos may present problems. It's productive to work on a mutual goal and they over time get more annoyed with each other. So I wonder if maybe over time like they get annoyed with each other, literally what I said, but it's more of like a gradual thing because we have been seeing how they get annoyed with each other and there's general discontent. It's probably, I see, more of a gradual thing. They both need to stop focusing on the details and Sunghoon feels challenged by Won-Young's dominance. My brain is going towards, because if he's boosting her ego, obviously she's going to feel confident and everything. Is this like a situation of like the monster he created? Maybe she's become so confident and everything that it kind of starts to irritate him. They need to respect each other's natural habits. Sunghoon's sun sextile Won-Young's Neptune. They easily forgive each other and they explore intuition together. There's a romantic and spiritual bond and they're attuned to each other's feelings. They're conscious of each other's needs and both feel they have found their soulmate. So all I've really seen, like they're in the music industry, they host things together. I mean, they could just be a collaborative duo because I'm sure in that industry, particularly such a like tough industry, it probably is hard to find even like a solid friend. So probably like if they even found friendship in each other, they probably do interpret it as something quite deep and intense like a soulmate. Sunghoon's sun conjunct Won-Young's Pluto. There's a deep attraction and Sunghoon is drawn to Won-Young. It's not a superficial union. I mean, the whole like intuition, like spiritual thing, probably not. Won-Young is more dominant. Okay, maybe she's naturally more dominant and like, I don't know, maybe it's one of those things because she's so confident, everyone is compelled to sort of like not necessarily make her feel confident, but comment on that and everything. Both have a fear of losing the other, which there does seem to be a thing of they want to make this work. Like we've seen they easily forgive each other. And we did see, like, obviously working well together. They both desire like a harmonious cooperative environment. So it seems like they do want to make this stick and work it out. Sunghoon triggers Won-Young's jealousy and possessiveness, and they both have a desire to know each other's deep secrets. Now for the intermission. This video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized Synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else, astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things there, so it would be greatly appreciated if you go have a look. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the reading. So now it's time for moon. We have Won-Young's moon in Pisces and Sunghoon's moon in Aquarius. Their emotional temperaments are different, and Sunghoon can be too detached for Won-Young. I mean, which kind of makes sense if she's the more jealous, possessive one. We haven't seen anything else otherwise, so it could be that. Sunghoon is uncomfortable with Won-Young being open with her feelings, and Sunghoon questions Won-Young's more metaphysical beliefs. Oh no, I mean, not that it's a... I mean, obviously I'm biased with those sort of things, but I guess we did see how they explore intuition together and those sort of things, so maybe, I don't know, it obviously must be some part of this relationship. I wonder if that, because we did see how, like, you know, they do tend to get annoyed with each other. I wonder if that is what, you know, how Won-Young irritates Sunghoon. Won-Young may get drained by Sunghoon. Won-Young's moon is square Sunghoon's Mercury. It's emotionally challenging, and Won-Young has a hard time getting Sunghoon to listen. Won-Young feels Sunghoon doesn't value her opinions or respect her intellectually. I don't blame her. We literally just saw that her metaphysical beliefs and feelings and everything don't seem to be respected. Sunghoon feels Won-Young is too sensitive to criticism. It's that sort of like, to me it reminds me of those friendships, like obviously you are friends for certain reasons, but there are certain topics that kind of go off the, I guess, table to talk about because you know it's just going to cause lots of debate. They both need to learn to listen, and Sunghoon feels frustrated with Won-Young. Won-Young's moon is square Sunghoon's Saturn. Won-Young feels emotionally insecure, and there's a possibility of an awkward relationship. Yeah, I'm not really obsessed with Won-Young's situation here, I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for her. Sunghoon sees Won-Young as needy and oversensitive, and Won-Young feels judged by Sunghoon. This isn't great. Not very fun. I wonder, because we did see how Sunghoon is boosting, you know, Won-Young's ego and everything. I wonder if maybe that is more in like a superficial way, like maybe looks wise or aesthetic wise or something like that. But when it comes to, I guess, you know, the more deeper stuff about Won-Young, he's really no. Won-Young's moon is square Sunghoon's Pluto. Jealousy and emotional manipulation is underlying. I mean, the jealousy we did see on Won-Young's end, didn't we? Sunghoon can sense Won-Young's unconscious needs and manipulates her with it. I don't like that. Why? Sunghoon tends to be controlling over Won-Young, and projection is a challenge. They both need to let go of the idea that love only exists with control, and they both need to work through power struggles. I mean, yeah, from what we've been seeing, like Won-Young is like the high power and everything, she's more dominant. There's a deep emotional transformation, and they both may need to work through some psychological demons from the past, which again, kind of understandable with like the industry they're in and everything. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Won-Young's Mercury in Leo and Sunghoon's Mercury in Sagittarius. These are both fire signs. They are both very expressive, and conflict can come from their selfishness, which I guess you could see it into as like the main source of conflict seems to be with Won-Young's thoughts and opinions. Sunghoon not necessarily agreeing with them. Sort of seems to be main point of the biggest notes we've seen on anyway. Which you could see on both ways. Like Sunghoon, maybe his opinions aren't really being heard and everything. He could be viewing Won-Young as selfish in that way. But also you could be viewing Sunghoon as selfish for not necessarily hearing out Won-Young and immediately criticizing her. It's an energetic and enthusiastic relationship, and they both can get defensive easily. It's not a very practical relationship. Their Mercury signs are trine together, so there's easy communication and they solve problems similarly. I assume this would be more in like a career sense than anything else. They enjoy learning from each other and they have complementary ideas and thoughts. They have a mutual understanding and they hold similar views. Again, more sort of career sense than anything else. Misunderstandings are unlikely. Won-Young's Mercury sextiles Sunghoon's Saturn. Sunghoon helps Won-Young focus and Won-Young feels she can learn a lot from Sunghoon. They solve problems together and they have dry conversations, so yeah, potential. Like, we've been seeing nothing too crazy with like communication. It's like easy, dry, and everything. They might not necessarily agree with each other. It's a good business partnership. Won-Young's Mercury opposite Sunghoon's Uranus. Sunghoon finds Won-Young's opinions as superficial, traditional. That's actually very interesting. Like, I mean, you could see it like superficial. You know, I think with a lot of younger people, it is becoming more popular for the metaphysical beliefs and everything. But also you could see it as maybe traditional. I'm not sure on like the exact things in Korea and everything, or South Korea, I should say, sorry. But you know, with a lot of older, more traditional things is when you get the more metaphysical beliefs, like you get more of those superstitions and everything like that. So I wonder if maybe, you know, that is related to that. They can be impatient with each other and Won-Young finds it hard to depend on Sunghoon. They have stressful communication and interruptive conversations. Sunghoon stimulates Won-Young mentally and they make impulsive decisions together. Sunghoon's Mercury square Won-Young's Jupiter. It's a relationship that expands consciousness and promising more is a problem. Won-Young helps Sunghoon go through hard times with optimism and there's a habit of interrupting, which we did see interruptive conversations, so that's obviously a thing here. Won-Young may come off as holier than thou. I guess I do wonder because we have been seeing everything we've seen when it comes to power struggle. Like we saw they have those power struggles, but anything else specific has been Won-Young is the more dominant one. And we did see how they both can tend to find each other selfish. So I wonder if maybe Won-Young is more pressing with these opinions that she has. She's more assertive of her personality, her views onto Sunghoon. That is why he may be finding her selfish and irritated with her. Won-Young is frustrated with Sunghoon's analytical approach to life, not surprisingly so. They have a lack of understanding regarding each other's ideas and there are communication difficulties. They have a strong mental and intellectual bond and they have frequent misunderstandings. Debates can turn into arguments and they have different philosophical views. I mean, all's kind of been repeated, isn't it? So now it's time for Venus. We have Won-Young's Venus in Cancer and Sunghoon's Venus in Scorpio. These are both water signs. They are drawn to each other and they feel at home together. They are committed to each other. I mean, there's nothing to say. Like, they seem to get annoyed with each other. We haven't seen anything in terms of like, you know, resentment building up or like, you know, this relationship eventually goes in some way. We've just seen they get annoyed with each other, but then we've also seen like, you know, they forgive each other, they solve problems easily. So there's a magnetic attraction and Won-Young's warm nature regenerates Sunghoon, which we did see that her optimism helps Sunghoon like go through hard times, so that's there. Sunghoon may unintentionally hurt Won-Young. I mean, there's a couple of ways that could manifest. Definitely what I'm thinking of, if he comes off as like cutting her off, like maybe cutting her off when she's speaking about her like opinions and things, and like not necessarily doing it to hurt her, but obviously, you know, just I guess that ignorance hurts her. Sunghoon's Venus trine Won-Young's Uranus. The relationship seems odd to outsiders. I mean, to me reading this, it seems a bit odd. They enjoy experimenting together, which I think this could be music, even like hosting ideas and everything for the show they were on. They share unusual interests and there's an unconventional setup. There's an element of fate and Sunghoon is drawn to Won-Young's unique qualities. See, I don't like this thing. Like when we're seeing that, oh, they really like this about them, but they also get irritated by them. It's that one of those things like, the thing that you love about the person is what makes you what you end up hating about them. It's not long term, and Won-Young finds Sunghoon charming and attractive. So now it's time for Mars. We have Won-Young's Mars in Virgo and Sunghoon's Mars in Scorpio. Sunghoon is possessive of Won-Young, which I think we did see on Won-Young's sense, so I guess an equal part of that. It's an experimental relationship, and Won-Young tends to be critical of Sunghoon. Sunghoon intimidates Won-Young. I don't blame her. Won-Young's Mars squares Sunghoon's Pluto. There are power struggles and external influences challenge them, which we did see how relationships seems odd to outsiders, and there are public couples, so I wonder if things like, I don't know, like fans or like public opinion got to them. Won-Young's blunt nature triggers Sunghoon's inner issues. Ew. That's not great, because we did see how she's like quite like harsh on him, but like critical, I think we did see. They dig into each other's psyche, and there's a brutal transformation. They need to deal with their own issues instead of fighting each other, which I guess like we did see how they both need to let go of like the idea of love and control being like associated together, and they need to resolve their own issues and everything. So obviously, and I think we did see projection is a challenge as well. So obviously they need to kind of get themselves in check to make this as smooth as possible, you could say. Sunghoon's Mars, Trine Won-Young's Uranus. Sunghoon feels free around Won-Young, and there's an unusual meeting. Which, meeting-wise, what do we see? Like, there's an element of fate or something. So obviously something mysterious and unconventional. They respect each other's independence, and Sunghoon is not a fan of Won-Young's lack of boundaries. So that was the final aspect, bringing us to the end of the reading. One of those unfortunate short readings. If you are still watching, please share your thoughts below. I'd be very curious to see what you guys have to say. If you guys interpreted any of these, notes differently, especially if you guys are fans of these two, because that was, because the whole like public perception thing being a, part of this relationship. I'd be very curious to see what you guys have to say about that. And if you have made it this far, please consider subscribing for more. I post these readings twice a week. And besides that, give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.